Celtics announced as part of their 75th anniversary season here in the NBA 75th anniversary season, that they plan to announce at some point in time here this year their top 15 players in franchise history. I'm sure you saw that. So I'm wondering if you have started thinking about, I could ask you to do it on the fly, but that might be unfair to you. But I'm wondering if you've started thinking about who you think belongs in the Celtics top 15 ever in the 75 years of this team. Because I know Evan has put together his list, and a lot of people out there have started doing the same.
Well, I hadn't even thought about it, but just on the fly, I think what you're going to start with, you're just going to start with those numbers up there that are retired. That's how you're going to start. And you could go down and essentially you can look at Cousy. You can say Russell. There's Sam Jones, Havlicek, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen. I mean, and I know some Tommy Heinsohn.
I don't think Ray Allen's going to make that cut.
Yeah, I think Ray's going to make the cut.
Here's the thing about it. Ray Allen should make that cut, but probably won't. But I started thinking that.
Remember,
way.
I have to believe it's top 15, like what they accomplished in a Celtics uniform. Right. So
no,
Ray Allen was a top 15.
Okay, well, how about this?
So
he won a champ. Well, would you say Kevin Garnett's going to be on that list?
I don't think it's automatic. I think he
made mine.
No, I think he's a fringe guy. I think he's a fringe guy on that list.
He's a fringe guy?
He's a fringe guy on that list. I do.
I got him higher than that, Max. I got him higher than that. He was
what's your top 15? Let's see if Max.
Well, no, I had Garnett hovering around like 10. And
okay.
It's hard at that point. You really got to split hairs here. I mean, there's the obvious like hierarchy. Russell, Bird, Havlicek. I put Pierce in there. McHale, Sam Jones, Dave Cowens, Robert Parrish, Cousy, JoJo White, Tommy Heinsohn, KG, DJ, and then I threw Max and Rondo in there at the end.
I can think of some better players than those last two that you think about.
Come on, Max. I can't come on a show with you and not put you in there.
No,
come on, brother.
Here's the best thing about it. I can kick it myself.
Yeah, you can.
Say that. I was really good. I mean, you don't retire somebody's jersey for nothing. But I just think about those guys who were there. Those names I named before. When you have, was Havlicek was there, and Cowens and JoJo White during that era that they won championships. How many guys are you gonna have from the Russell era? Are you gonna put Sat Sanders in there, who has 8 rings? Mm-hmm. Did you say Sam Jones?
Yeah.
Sam Jones.
Also, let me read this to you. I put out on Twitter. This was, I don't know, almost a week. Actually, it's just a few days ago. Feels like an eternity ago. I said, Celtics plan to unveil their top 15. Which 15 make your list? And I got hundreds of replies. And one that jumped out on me because there was a whole lot of back and forth and engagement, obviously, between people that were submitting their lists. I'm sure or have interacted at some point in time with Casey Jones' daughter, Bryna. She's heavy. I don't know if she's heavy into social media or not, but at least she really jumped on this tweet, and so she sent her list, and she said, granted, I'm biased, but here's her list.
Okay.
Russell, Cousy, both the Jones, Sam and Casey, Satch, Tommy, Hondo, JoJo, Bird, McHale, Parrish, Cowens, Pierce and Garnett, Lewis, and Tatum. That's her group of 15.
How about there's a guy named Dennis Johnson that played for a while.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
A
lot of people who submitted their list. DJ
that won multiple championships that you think about how he was here. I don't know Reggie Lewis. I think that, and I love Reggie as a player.
Maybe it's kind of what could have been.
Yeah, I think you start looking at it from that standpoint with Reggie. Yeah, I mean, your list is pretty good, but you can't leave Dennis Johnson off that list. I mean, that's just. And then if you're gonna say you're not going there, you're saying, was Nate Archibald that good when he was during the time he was here? I mean, there are Hall of Famers that you look at that you go down at the see. I remember when I got my jersey retired by the Celtics, I said, no offense at all to the good people in Springfield with the Hall of Fame, but the Hall of Fame basketball wise was right over my head because those dudes, how many championships were they involved in? I mean, you just look at that team and go, oh my God, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. I mean, there are names that, you said the Jones boys, Sat Sanders, as you said, you looked at it. So their name Hondo, who I played with. So there was a big three right there with JoJo White, Hondo, and Dave Cowens. That was a fundamental big three that you start with. Then you're gonna say the big three, the next big three, and then you're gonna have Pierce, Garnett, but you're not gonna have Ray Allen in. Okay, all right.
I'll give you another, Brad Feldman, who, of course, we all know he is the longtime voice of the New England Revolution. Pretty good football team, soccer team in town. He submitted his list, pretty similar to what we just heard from Brian. I think there are two differences. He has Russell, Bird, Havlicek, Kuzi, Heinsohn, Sam Jones, KC, Cowens, Pierce, Garnett, McHale, Chief, DJ, JoJo, Tatum. So that list does not have Reggie, doesn't
Tatum's
have.
Got to be a projection pick. I mean,
kind of like, when we had Washburn on the show, it's like how, when the NBA released its NBA at 50 list, Shaq was the projection pick, and it worked. Obviously, it was right at the time. He hadn't accomplished anything, but sure enough, like he went on. It's true. So that's why people are debating right now, like who. And we had this whole conversation with Gary when he was on the show a few shows back, Max, of when the NBA releases its 75 list this year. Who's the projection pick going to be? Is it Luka? Is it, there are a few different guys, obviously, you could include.
Yeah. I mean, that topic to me is one that really goes well. The Rondo pick, I think, would be, I'm not sure how and I love Rondo. Rondo's my guy. I love him, but I wouldn't put Rondo as a top 15. Not when I start thinking about in Celtic hierarchy or what they've done. No, he wouldn't even be close in that range.
I know we sprung it upon you, so I don't expect you to do it live on the show, but I would love for you to do your list at some point because I'd love to hear it.
I mean, that's fair. That is really fair. But like I said, I can just think of the ones that I'm gonna give you my numbers and you tell me where I'm at. Okay.
Yeah.
Uzi, Russell, Sat Sanders, Casey Jones, Sam Jones.
Yeah, that's five.
That's five. I'm gonna go with Havlicek, Cowan. No, Havlicek, Cowan, and JoJo White.
Yeah.
So that's 8 right there.
Yeah.
That's 8. Then I'm gonna go with Dennis Johnson, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Robert Parrish. Where am I at?
12. You got
12.
3 left. You haven't said Pierce, right?
And then, no, I hadn't said that. So I'm just come to this year.
Yeah.
Pierce and Garnett.
Yeah.
13, 14. Now that last one, that's going to be an interest because I would say a projection would be Tatum. A projection would be Tatum, but that's going to be the hard one right there.
But you see, it's not too tough to make that list and not include Ray Allen.
I don't think you put Dennis. Did you say DJ?
But I look at Ray to me, and I happen to be huge fan. Ray would be that 15th pick. Ray would be that last pick for me.
I wasn't writing them down. Did you say DJ?
I said DJ. I went with my era, and I said Parrish, McHale, Bird, and Dennis Johnson. That was 4 right there.
Okay.
Those 4.
I was just
sure. And then I said the Paul Pierce era is Garnett, Pierce, and Allen. So those names alone, I think I've gotten my 15, and that's what. And you're leaving me out, leaving the other guys out who are Hall of Famers. You can look at that list of some of the people who else played with the Celtics during that time. Don Nelson. You can look at some of the other people. Easy Ed McCauley. There's some names up there that you just have to go, So, that's going to be I like the list. I like the thought of it. To me, I'm honored in the fact that I could be an honorable mention. That to me is like, that's like the coolest thing in the world, to be an honorable mention to something like that. You understand, you have to make it, be one of the top. But I know that if my kids or my kids in the future, whoever it is, go to the Boston Garden, that they can look up there and they say, hey, 31, that was my dad right there. That was my dad who played here. That's how damn it, how good he was. That he made that list. And I know some people say, I was talking to a couple of people, Steve Buckley one time, he said, well, frankly, Max, I don't think that you should have had your jersey retired. I said, well, let me just throw my stats at you. First forward to lead the league in field goal percentage twice. MVP in the finals, 2 championships, and a couple climb on my damn backboards for Game 7 versus the Los Angeles Lakers. So I think that I'm in stone right now with this organization, and the fact that I've been around broadcasting for 26 years, but that's a whole nother story. But just my basketball accolades alone would lead me to be in that range.